who's actually going to get the most out of an Onkyo RZ50, and who should walk away before they spend a big chunk of cash. If you're wondering whether the price makes sense for a regular family movie night or if it's only for the hardcore home theater nerd, you're not alone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you first hear 9.2 channel 8K per 4K network receiver, you might picture a futuristic cinema in your living room. But the real question is whether that promise translates into everyday enjoyment or just a fancy paper spec you'll never really use. Most buyers sit at the crossroads of three concerns. Can the system handle the newest video formats without a hitch? Will the audio really sound better than a decent soundbar? And is the setup process going to be a weekend project or a nightmare? Those doubts are what keep people on the fence, especially when the unit sits at a price point that's a serious investment for a typical household. Let's break down what the RZ50 actually delivers in a real home. First off, the HDMI side of things is built for the future. It supports uncompressed 8K and 4K at 40 gigabits per second, which means if you have a next-gen console or a 8K streaming device, the picture will stay crystal clear, and you won't have to worry about bandwidth bottlenecking. In practice, that's a big win for gamers who want every frame of a fast-paced title without lag, and for movie buffs who already own a 4K TV and plan to upgrade to 8K down the road. The receiver also passes through HDR10+, Dolby Vision and other high dynamic range formats, so the visual fidelity isn't compromised by the audio gear. On the audio front, the RZ50 leans on DIRAC live room correction. What that means in plain language is the receiver measures how sound reflects in your room and automatically adjusts the output to compensate. In a living room with a large window and a bookshelf, you'll notice the dialogue staying anchored to the screen rather than echoing off the walls. It's not a one-size-fits-all fix, but for most average-sized rooms it smooths out the common boom-boom echo problem that cheaper receivers leave unchecked. The THX certification adds another layer of confidence. The unit has been calibrated to meet a set of strict standards, so you're not getting an untested, Hobby Lab product. If you're the type who streams everything from Spotify to Apple AirPlay, the RZ50's network features are worth a mention. It talks to Sonos, supports Chromecast built-in, and can pull AirPlay 2 streams directly, meaning you can throw a playlist from your phone to the whole house without a separate streamer. That eliminates a whole extra box for many people. The built-in Ethernet port and dual-band Wi-Fi keep the connection stable, even when you have multiple devices fighting for bandwidth. Now, who should actually consider buying this? First, anyone who already has a fairly serious speaker array. Think a full 7.1 or 9.1 setup, or at least a pair of high-end front speakers and a decent center channel. The 250W per channel at 6 rating means the receiver can drive demanding drivers without straining, so if you own speakers that need that kind of power, the RZ50 will let them perform as intended. Second, families that plan to future-proof their home theater for the next few years, the 8K HDMI support means you won't need to upgrade again when an 8K TV finally becomes mainstream. Third, gamers who want the lowest possible input lag and the ability to switch between high-resolution video and high-fidelity audio on the fly will appreciate the low-latency HDMI path. On the flip side, there are clear groups that should skip this model. If you live in a small apartment with a modest soundbar or a 2-channel stereo system, the sheer size and power of the RZ50 are overkill. You'll likely never fill all 9 channels, and you'll end up paying for features you never use. Likewise, if your budget is tight and you're looking for a good enough solution, there are simpler 5.2-channel receivers that cost a fraction of the price and still deliver solid 4K video and decent audio. Lastly, anyone who isn't comfortable with a bit of calibration work should think twice. While DIRAC Live automates most of the process, you still need to place the microphone, run the measurement, and occasionally tweak settings, something that can be intimidating if you've never touched a receiver's menu. Let's talk about the practical strengths that become apparent after the box is opened. The included HNA banana plugs are a small but nice touch. Instead of wrestling with bare speaker wire, you just snap the plugs onto the terminals and the connectors lock in place. That reduces the chance of a loose connection that could cause crackle or dropouts. The aluminum drop-down panel gives the front a clean, modern look that blends with most core, and it also serves as a heat sink, helping the unit stay cool during long movie marathons. In terms of daily usability, the remote is organized logically: volume, source, and a dedicated room correction button that pulls up the